my favorite things to do on vacation is to bring a little notebook and make notes, make doodles, just enjoy it. And today I'm going to show you how I used my ScanNCut to create that. So I've got here just a little craft notebook, and I have here some lime green paper because I am trying to use that paper up. Now you can use anything you would like. I am using the vacation file that is in my ScanNCutDX machine because I just really like this one and I think it'll be great for what I'm up to. So I'm using the lime green paper again to just use it up. You can size your file as you see me doing here, and then it'll be ready to cut. So you can go as big or as small as you want depending on your product that you're using on your notebook cover. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to make a sun. So there's lots of different files in here to use. And again, as you can see in my other videos, you can certainly work with either built-in designs. You could design your own. You can go on Canvas Workspace and design some. You can use any kind of SVG file that you would like. Me though, I have this idea for this like blazing sun vacation that I'm going for. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this sun file, and there are two parts to it. I'm only picking this one part because I don't need the center for what I'm doing. I'm going to be using this as a stencil, so I only need the one part. And remember that you can go into edit as I'm doing here and edit things so that they are oriented different directions to help you get the most out of your paper. And in my case, to make some paper that's not been getting used, that's been sitting in the back of my closet, make it useful and get it used. And yes, you can use paper stencils more than once. They just don't hold up quite as long term as plastic. So I recommend using a plastic if you're looking for long-term, lots of project kind of a stencil. So I'm scanning my material in here just because I want to make sure that everything is just so and that I like how everything is looking. And then I'm going to go ahead and go into cut once I'm satisfied. And if the half cut is on, which it is because I was cutting some vinyl previously, I'm just going to go ahead and click that off and then cut. Now with this cut out, you can see here I'm pulling everything up. I'm keeping both parts. I'm keeping both the negative and the actual cuts because as I go along here, I may end up needing or wanting something to work as a mask versus as a stencil, and I love having that option. Now the very first thing I do once I have all of this is just kind of look at where it is, make sure I like my vision, make sure it looks good as I think it will, and then get started. So to start, I'm putting down some glue and I'm going to go ahead and glue down our word vacation. And the reason is I want this to be subtle. And I know lime green and subtle, but trust me, it will be, because what's going to happen is we're going to cover this over with white gesso or white acrylic paint. Either will work. And it's going to become textural element versus a color element as far as what we put down. So it really didn't matter what color the paper was that I started with. And here I am just going ahead and grabbing some of that gesso and getting started rolling that around. Once this is all dried, we can start with colors. And the first color I'm going to use is yellow. So I'm going to put down so I'm doing it both ways. So I'm putting this down as my stencil and I'm squirting some yellow paint in there. And I'm going to go ahead and push this around gently. You see how I'm tapping with that foam brush? It just minimizes any chance of the stencil lifting up and being a problem. And then I'm going to repeat with other colors while it is still wet. And this is going to have kind of a funky effect where some of it's going to blend and then some of it's just going to layer on top of each other. And it's just a really cool look. So I used a total of 3 different colors here as I went through. And then once this is done, let it totally dry. And now I'm going to use the other part as a mask. And as you can see, I already have little dots of all kinds of different colors of acrylic paint all around. So some purple, aqua, and blues. And I'm going to tap again using the tapping, go all around. And this is creating my background. And it's going to both blend, but also leave fun little spots for my background. Once that is done and I am satisfied with it, my next step is, again, let it dry before I do anything else. And I'm just going to do a couple little things. I'm going to use some dimensional, like glitter glue type materials to go around and outline and add dots around the outside. I'm also going to highlight my letters a little bit. As you can see here, I have both a white line going all the way around the outside and also yellow dots. And I'm also going to go in here and use a little bit of black pen, which will be water resistant, except in that first moment while it's wet, it's not. So I'm using this to blend a little bit just to make a tiny bit of contrast, a tiny bit of shadow. And then if you want anything else, say you want sequins or beads or ribbons or anything that you like, this is where you can put it down. Once you're all happy with how it looks, well, go on your trip and enjoy. And I hope that this tutorial has inspired you to maybe get out some paints, maybe create some stencils of your own and get crafting. I'll see you next time.